Hello, everybody. We're back. This is another episode of Recovery Talk. I've been doing this for a few weeks now, and the main purpose of it is to show other people that recovery is possible. People who are struggling with drugs and alcohol, who have nowhere to turn due to COVID. You know, the everything that was available to me when I got sober is not available to those who are still suffering out there in active in their disease or their addiction. So hey, I have somebody coming on. Her name is Leilani. She'll be with us shortly. She has a very, very, very powerful testimony, powerful share. It's very relatable. I always taught to focus on the similarities, not the differences. So men, it's very inspiring for men as well. Although women, I would say, will be able to identify and relate with her more so because she's a woman. But she'll be here with us shortly. And I'm getting notifications that I'm going live, which I never got before. But she will be here soon. And I'm very excited about this one. A lot of the people that I have been meeting, oh, here she is. I didn't know them. I met them through Instagram or Facebook, but I'm super excited about today's show. So here she comes. It says waiting. So we'll be starting in a second, guys. And if you guys have questions as we're going live, feel free to put them down in there. And if we can, we will answer them. As we're going live in this show. I always post these to my Instagram and also to my Facebook as well. So if you missed the live stream, you can see it, the recorded version of it on my Instagram page and also my Facebook page. But she should be here real soon. It still says we're waiting for her. I'll wait. Let's see. Let's try that again. Okay, so anyways, again, her name is Leilani. She'll be with us shortly. I'm really excited. I've heard from her like bits and pieces of her story, and as a man, it's very encouraging. Even though I've been sober for a while, it doesn't really matter. I've been sober how long. I'm not so focused on staying sober necessarily. I'm more concerned about my recovery, because if I'm continue to have that mindset of recovery, I'll stay sober by default. It'll happen. But if I focus on only wanting to stay sober, I for sure will not have that recovery type of mindset, because something that I've learned when I got sober is that you separate me from drugs and alcohol, I still think the same. I'll still behave the same. I will still lie and cheat and steal and manipulate. So I found out that drugs and alcohol was never really my problem. It was always the solution to my problem. So let's see. I'm sorry, guys. We're having a little technical difficulty over here. Let's see. See, when you have when you're trying to do something good, when you're trying to do something positive that can affect people's lives, you always have resistance. Whether it could be something not working with the equipment, or the electricity went out, or you forgot to put your phone on airplane mode and somebody calls you and it disrupts the live the show, I guess, or the live stream. But I don't give up very easily. If I did, honestly, I would not be alive today if I did. So we'll just wait for her for a second. Oh, all right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Anybody have any questions right now? Okay, wait. I sent it. Okay. Okay, you sent it. Okay, try and send me it again, and then it should work. Because I think I was trying to add you, and you were adding me at the same time. Maybe that could be it. But we'll get this going here soon. Because once Leilani, once I get your request, I will see it on here, and it'll pop up, and then I press the button, and then boom, you're in. Okay. Okay, waiting. I'm sorry about this, guys. This is the first time this has happened, so she must have an incredible story to tell. You know, you always find resistance when you're trying to do something that can affect the lives of other people in a positive way. Okay, Brandy. Or Brandy, sorry. Leilani, you get a bunch of people commenting. Leilani, it keeps saying this. Okay, Leilani, I tried to send it to you again. I'm not going to do it anymore, but send it back to me. And then make sure your Wi-Fi connection is pretty good. Sober Fitness, what's up, bro? Is my wife on here? Babe, are you on here? Can you write something in there so I know if you're on this live or not? Let me see. Okay. Let me see this again. Okay. I see you, babe. I don't know if it's my phone. Babe, could you request to go live with me? See if that works. It could be my phone. Oh, okay. It works. Okay, so it's not my phone. Okay, thanks, babe. See you later. Let's see. Okay, Leilani, I tried to send it to you again. Oh, I think it says, oh, there you go.
Aloha.
Hey, aloha, how's it going?
Good, thank you.
All
I don't know
right.
what happened.
That's okay. It's all good. We got it. We persevered. That's good. Yeah. All right. So how's it going?
Good, thank you. A little chilly over my way right now, but it's all right.
Yeah, you're in New York.
Yes.
Yeah, it must be. How cold is it
But
there?
I'm moving to Bakersfield.
Oh
I got a
man.
house out there now. So I'm Bakersfield, that's where I'll be on the 30th.
Oh, Bakersfield. You ever been there before? Oh yeah, there ain't a whole lot of anything out there, honestly. Man,
I'm gonna try it.
you're going from the big city life to like a bunch of just land all over the place.
Good. That's what I
Yeah.
need.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Like I was saying in the beginning when I first started the live show, like a lot of you guys, like I've never actually met. I don't know. I sent out a post and a lot of people responded to it. You're one of them, and I just love to hear other people's stories of how they recovered from drugs and alcohol, from trauma, from mental illness. Like, I got sober in a 12-step program, but that doesn't mean, oh yeah, I only gonna talk to people in a 12-step program. To me, it doesn't matter. Like, however you got sober, God snapped his fingers, bam, 12-step program, psychiatry, it doesn't matter. Like, I keep my mind open because I believe, it can help anybody no matter what. And
Yes.
having this platform for other people to share their stories is just amazing. And, like I was saying, I heard a little bit, of your story, which is unreal. I couldn't wait till today came, to have you come on. And I know when I first met you, you messaged me, and I was like, oh, Leilani. I was thinking, bro, I wonder if this girl knows she got a Hawaiian name. And then when we actually talked, you told me, yeah, you're Hawaiian. Duh. So that's pretty cool. I don't know any other Hawaiians in New York.
Me neither. I haven't found one yet.
Okay, so thank you everybody for being patient. We had a little technical difficulty, but Leilani's here, and I'm gonna give her the floor to share her story. So take it away, girl.
Hi, aloha. Well, my name is Leilani, but that's my middle name. My name is Brandy. But I go by both. My drug story happens very late in my life. I mean, I grew up in a home that was very secluded. I was the only Native family member in my home. After my mom remarried my stepdad, there was a lot of alcoholism in my family from my mom's side and my dad's side. Um, I started smoking weed when I was like 9 years old, and it started because I always hung out with like the older crowd of people, but I also was going through a lot of incestual stuff in my family,
Mm-hmm.
which kept me blocked. I tended to start doing marijuana at the age of 9.
Wow.
Um, so marijuana became like my escape drug for the longest time. I messed around with pills throughout my middle school days, my high school days, just for recreational purposes, anything, just something that we did back in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my my major drug story happened when I first moved to New York back in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I moved out to New York from New Mexico with my children's father and I. Before we moved out here to New York, we were having a lot of problems in our relationship, and there was a lot of secrets between him and the woman that he is married to now
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't know. I was young. I was 24 years old. Um, he ended up leaving me out here in New York and taking my daughters with him. And it kind of like made me very vulnerable at that time. And I ended up getting involved with this man who told me that he was going to get me back my daughters and help me get back my daughters. And we were going to get an attorney. And
Mm-hmm.
I believed him. I didn't know nobody out here at the time. And I would do anything that I would do to help to get my children back out here. So I took it upon myself to believe this man. And I didn't know that throughout the moments that we were together, he was putting crack in my weed.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up calling it like a wooly, and I didn't know what that was. He never showed me what he was putting in my weed. he would just roll our blunts and give it to me, and we would smoke them together. And I just thought it was the wrap that was tasting funny because I never really knew how to roll a blunt. And 4 months after that, I ended up taking my first hit of crack in a stem.
Uh-huh.
I didn't understand why I wanted it, but I wanted it. He was selling drugs in a house, and the smell just got to my head, and it was something that my body was craving for, and I didn't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold the whole product to a woman as long as she smoked it with me. And that's how it happened. And I didn't know that I had an addiction at first. I liked the high. It took me away from all the pain that I was feeling at that moment. I didn't have no care in the world. I
Mm-hmm.
felt free. It took away the sadness of my daughters being gone. It made me feel beautiful. It made me feel sexy, like nobody can touch me.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I didn't realize like what it was doing to me mentally.
Yeah.
So throughout the beginning stages of me getting high, I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. I thought that I was doing everything like a normal person would get high if you were just to smoke a blunt and just sit here and talk with me and chill out with me. Um, Throughout our relationship, it started getting darker. Our relationship turned very violent. He started putting me on the streets for prostitution, and when I didn't do it, he would beat me up. He took me to motel rooms that were trashy. I slept with men that I probably wouldn't have slept with if I was sober or in the right mind,
Mm-hmm.
just for our benefits. And he used to tell me that if I wanted the drug, this is what I would have to do. And if I didn't do it, he would beat me up.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I got scared and he put me outside to sell my body. I was 25 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the first trick I ever pulled. I didn't know what I was doing. I just remember I was really scared, and I got in this man's car and I started to cry, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like you're going to hurt me, and I'm scared that you're going to hurt me. And he told me that he was going to take me back into town and get me safe. So I took that opportunity, but at that time, I didn't realize that I was already addicted to the drug.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I would go once I left him, that I was going to still continue doing drugs. I thought that once I escaped the relationship, that the nightmare was going to be over with.
Right.
But little did I know, once I got back out into the city of Albany, I was out here alone.
Mm-hmm.
And my body was craving a drug that I didn't know how to get. And I ended up meeting some girl on the street that was doing the drug that I was wanting. And I started going from there. My drug habit was heavy for like 3 years straight. I remember back in 2009, I was at a house that everybody used to get high in, and I was gang raped by 5 drug dealers because I wouldn't sleep with them. And they didn't understand why I wasn't like all the other girls who were getting high and wanted to be with them to get free drugs. And I was never like that. So that was probably like the most traumatic situation that would have probably made me stop getting high, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it made me continue getting high because I didn't know. I didn't know that I was gang raped until after a year I was sober.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, what I was getting high with, finally told me. So I ended up getting locked up, which probably saved my life, I thought. But when I came back out, I don't know what made me want to use again, because I was already like a year clean, but it was just something that my body just felt comfortable for doing. And it was just something that I did, I guess. There was no really purpose of why. It just made me feel good until I went back home in 2010, because I got to the point in my addiction where I wanted to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a 24-hour smoking binge, and all I remember is I was sitting at the table and I smoked so much crack that I couldn't even remember my name.
Wow.
I didn't even know how to speak the alphabet. I was so brain dead that words didn't even come out of my mouth no more. And I don't even know how I was still getting high. And I remember I was in the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't even recognize my face. And I just kept praying to God to just blast my heart.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to die, I was going to die then. And come to find out, the guy that was selling me drugs that whole night was an ex-drug counselor.
Wow.
And he sat me in a room. He made me cry on his lap. He told me he was going to take me into rehab. I said, I don't want to go to rehab. I don't trust people. All they want to do is pump me full of medication, and I'm already going through too much. I don't want to live this life no more. I'm tired of hurting. I'm tired of hurting myself. I'm tired of hurting others. I just miss my kids. That's the only thing that I was trying to get away from, was escaping the pain of my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going to, I ended up admitting myself to a mental institution because I felt like I was going insane.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I needed help, but I was too scared to get the help because I didn't want people to judge me for me getting high.
Mm-hmm.
And the only people that I felt safe around were the people that I was getting high with. So I ended up going back to those people, and then I ended up continuing getting high. This third time around of me getting high was only because I just felt like I didn't have any care in the world anymore. I was like, fuck it, this is my life now, and I'm destined to be a crackhead.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt.
Yep.
I felt like it was already too late for me, and I hung up the towel. Well, one night I went to bed and I had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And this dream was not just a dream, it was a vision from God. And it was him letting me know not to give up. And I will never forget the dream. And I will never forget what I seen in my dream. And I will never forget how I felt when I woke up from this dream. And that moment on, I woke up that next day and I told myself I was not going to smoke no more.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard for me for the first couple of months because I relapsed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of smoking crack, now I started drinking, and I'm trying to substitute
Yeah.
so I'm not a crackhead no more, but now I'm drinking. But when I felt myself getting overly drunk, then I would run to go back to smoking crack because I had to feel like I had to balance myself out.
Yeah.
And it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, I said, you know what, Brandy, like, no, this is not who you are. And this is not what your daughters would want you to be. And this is not what your son would want you to be. And I was like, I need to stop, really stop. I'm a Christian woman. I've always been a Christian woman. I've always believed in the Lord my whole life. And vulnerability really got me, you know, and I got off of drugs in 2010. I don't know how I got off of drugs because the institutions I went to didn't help me at all. All they did was pump me full of medication that was for my mental, told me that I was messed up in my head. And the medication that they put me on was just making me blocked emotionally, which made me want to go back out and use.
Mm.
So I just continued praying. And I remember I had to look myself in the mirror every day and tell myself, if I take this hit, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. 2.5 months after I stopped smoking crack cocaine, I developed anxiety problems.
Mhm.
I didn't know that I even had anxiety until after I got done smoking crack. I ended up in the hospital 57 times in 1 month because I thought I was suffering from heart attacks. I didn't know what was going on. And come to find out that because of all the cocaine I had in my system, I developed really bad anxiety and PTSD from what had happened to me throughout my time of being high. It got to the point so bad that I would have blackouts so I wouldn't remember what was going on because some of the things that I went through was very traumatic as a woman. Than it is with women getting high, because as women, we tend to be so vulnerable and so broken that when we go out to lay with people for money to get high, that's probably one of the main reasons why we continue getting high, is because when we put a value on something so precious and we know that we're doing that, it really breaks us as a woman to keep us down. And there's parts of my story that I wasn't going to say about, but there's so many women out here, and probably some men too, because I know I've met some men that were out there prostituting as well. That's a very scary thing. And it's not just even about the sex, it's about the family that we broke, the trust. I never got to like steal nothing and never sold nothing. I never took from my kids, which I thank God for that I didn't even have my kids to even be a part of that journey with me. Because if I took my daughters through that, I don't even know what I would have done. So there was a reason why my daughters weren't even a part of my life through that time, which I am grateful for, because they don't even know me like that. But I'm grateful to say that I celebrated my 12th year anniversary on August 17th of this year.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it has been really hard because throughout my time of trying to get clean, you know, I was incarcerated, and I lost my son to suicide in 2018. And I thought that that was going to take me back into doing drugs. And the first place that I ran to was my best friend, and she was still getting high, and she had a dealer in her home, and I stayed there, which I don't know why I did that, but I just felt safe and I didn't get high. I remember telling them that if I gave them my money, that don't give it to me, and they never did. And I was proud of myself that I went that long without doing that, but I also was mad at myself that I would even put myself into that situation, that I could have really gotten myself back into something when I was very, very vulnerable. But my story is very short because it was 3 years of nothing, of just getting high and getting my life together. Like I said, I've been clean for 12 years now, and I've just been helping others. You know, there's still women on the streets that I love, there's people that I met through my journey of getting high that I still go out and I try to help as much as possible. I like you, like this is a passion to me, helping others, reaching out. And when I seen that, that you had posted that on your Instagram, I don't even know you, like I said, from a hole in the wall. It just takes a lot of strength for somebody to be like you and be like me and be like other people in the world who really want to help other recovering addicts, because we know what it's like to be at that bottom of our life, but we also know that there is a way out because we are living proof of that. So without us, they're not going to know. So I highly appreciate that, and mahalo from my family to yours, to just say thank you that to give me the opportunity to even be a part of something so big.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate, your honesty, your vulnerability, your transparency. Me personally, I believe by being open, honest, transparent, being vulnerable, that's how you can reach unreachable people. Like, if, like, let's say, for example, my son is on drugs or something, and all I tell him is all my successes. He cannot relate to me. I gotta share with him all my dark places, the places I want to
Yes.
keep a secret, the things that I have not done right in my life. I believe personally that's how you can reach people that may seem unreachable to us, and also another thing that I believe also is that, like, addicts, alcoholics that's in recovery, I mean, we are the ultimate weapon in the fight against addiction. I mean, we
Yes, because
have
our
an
recovery doesn't stop just because we're clean.
yeah, yeah. And like we have an education that no amount of money could pay for. Our
Yes.
own experience is priceless. It's like, God pulled us out into the other end, of the tunnel. But if you don't mind, Leilani, can I ask you some questions now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so you've been sober since 2012. So what made you stay sober that long? Like, why did you stay sober that long?
Fear.
Uh-huh.
Fear is what kept me sober.
Mhm.
Fear of knowing what that drug took me through is what kept me sober.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Okay, did you suffer from any other health issues? I know you mentioned it. Maybe after you got clean and sober, or during, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I suffer from PTSD really, really bad
Mm-hmm.
because of the traumatic stuff that happened to me through that time. I suffer from paranoia, schizophrenia
Mm-hmm.
that stemmed from me getting high, and panic disorders on top of anxiety.
Wow. Wow. That's I tip my hat off to you and anybody who is in like a addict, alcoholic in recovery, and also has like these kind of health, like mental health issues. Because I know a woman that she is schizophrenic, and she's also an addict. I mean, it's literally like double the work you have to do and she's been clean and sober for, I think, 28 years. That's
Mm,
amazing.
that's
I mean,
like,
like, a lot of people who may not have suffered from it, although they're in recovery, they're addicts or alcoholics, they have a hard time relating. But if they ever
yeah,
have a chance to sit down one-on-one with somebody who is bipolar, schizophrenic, got some other sort of mental health issues, and actually talk to them, man, you will have a newfound respect and love for these people, man. I mean, the
yes,
work, like, in general, the work, I mean, to get clean and sober is not easy. It's very simple, but it's not easy, in my opinion. No way. Um,
no, it's
okay,
not.
the next question is, what were some of your triggers when you're trying to get sober?
Okay, when everybody goes in the rooms and they say people, places, and things,
Mm-hmm.
that is very important.
Mm-hmm.
You might have relationships with people that you've known for decades, and these people may be your best friend. I'm going to tell you something. This is really important. I've had to learn this the hard way. When your friends are on drugs, they don't care if you're sober.
Yeah.
They really don't care if you're sober. A person who is under the influence is going to want somebody under the influence. And if you guys were getting high before then together, it's not going to stop them from wanting to keep getting high with you then, now that you're sober. They don't care that you're sober. You have to realize that. That is really important. Um, Relationships,
Mm-hmm.
toxic relationships and friendships, like anything that will make you feel something uneasy within yourself, that was a really big trigger for me. Anything that made me feel uncomfortable, that put
Mm-hmm.
my emotions or my feelings or my spirit into something bad, to where I'm feeling so low that, oh, okay, well, so and so broke up with me.
Yep.
Maybe it broke, maybe it made me feel some type of way. I didn't want to feel that anymore. So you have to learn how to find another, like, gratification,
Uh-huh.
because that's what people are doing. We are running for instant gratification to help us stop feeling the emotion that we're feeling that makes us feel uneasy. People, places, and things are a very big thing when it comes to a recovering addict. I believe that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I'm in agreement with you. I remember as a kid, my dad would tell me, you hang around the barbershop long enough, you'll get your hair cut.
You're gonna get your hair
Honestly,
cut.
I
Yep.
didn't even know what the heck he was talking about. I was so young, but he was trying to teach me these things at an early age, because I found out later on when I got older that bad company corrupts good character. I learned
Yes.
that, and like, if I couldn't change my friends, then I needed to change my friends. If they didn't want to change, they wanted to keep drinking and using, I had to go make new friends.
Yes.
I born and raised in Hawaii. I got sober here in California. I think for sure I would have had a more difficult time staying sober in Hawaii, because I knew everybody. Everybody knew me. They knew where I live. And in Hawaii, you mean nobody gotta call you or text you to say they're coming over. They'll just show up, and that's just the culture. It's like,
Yep. They
yeah, hey,
just show up. Yes.
come in, yeah, come in, let's hang out. So it's not like I could stop them. Like, they could see my car in the garage. They'll go, okay, I'm gonna come in the house. And but I definitely agree with that. People, places, and things. Because something else that you talked about that was one of my triggers was an emotion, and it was anger. See, because drugs and alcohol, it had the ability to um, what do you call, to like affect my mind, alter. It had the ability to alter my mind. But when I got sober, I found out really quick that anger can alter my mind as well.
Yes.
Even though it's an
Yes.
emotion, it's not a chemical. It's just an emotion
No.
that can alter
Yes.
my mind. And but what I learned is that my emotion should always be submitted to wisdom. That's something that I had to learn and practice. It didn't just happen for me, right off the bat. But yeah, I definitely agree, man. Bad company corrupts good character. It's very important
Yes.
when you're trying to stay sober, like to create and reach out to other people who sober. That's what I did. I really only have people of friends that are sober. All my
Me
friends are
too.
sober.
Yes.
I mean, my family, like my brother, he drinks and stuff, but it's my family. It's my brother. He's not an alcoholic. He's not like me. When he wants to stop, he can stop. I could never do
Yes.
that. I lost that ability. Um, but let me see. Okay, I got a couple more questions. Um, so why did you want to get sober? I don't know. I never asked you that, actually.
Because even though I don't have my kids, in my heart, like, I don't believe that they want me to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my fault that my kids were not in my life. And I have to realize that I cannot continue beating myself up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was doing. Um, I have a purpose in life. And even though my children aren't with me, I still have a purpose. It doesn't stop me from being a mother. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stop me from being the person that I am. Like, I have a purpose to live. And I don't want to die off of drugs. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a way I want to die. When I think about that, I was in the hospitals a lot, you know, and for people to, even myself, to even tell me, you could die from this. It's going to kill you
Mm-hmm.
one day. And then I'm losing friends left and right, and I'm burying them before they even have a chance to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't. I can't. I can't. I have a purpose to live.
Yeah.
If my purpose, if for me, for myself, if I am not the reason why I cannot clean myself up, then I might as well just hang it in.
Right.
You have to be your own purpose.
Yeah.
You can't force somebody to get clean, because, you couldn't tell me that I was an addict. I had to really know for myself
Yeah.
that I had a problem.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like and the painstaking truth about addiction is that nobody made me drink or use, and nobody made me
Mhm.
recover. I was willing to do both. Like right now,
Yes.
I think about I have a little cousin or a younger cousin. He's grown already. He's an adult, but he just got out of prison, and he's in prison, I believe, for 4 years. And you know, he comes back out of prison and he's getting into all this trouble. You know, I'm starting to hear from my aunties, and he's using again, he's drinking, like because when I got sober, I learned that my thinking was the problem. See, if the thinking doesn't change, nothing else will change. And I love him, man. You know,
Yes.
we all grew up together, but I know that if he does not want help, he will never get it. If you never ask for help, you'll never get it. And I
Yes.
cannot force myself upon him to make him get sober. It will not work. It'll totally backfire. It's the least ineffective way to help somebody to get sober. But it's so
Yes.
hard because it's a loved one. When it's somebody like an acquaintance, it's so easy to just, oh well, I can't really do nothing. I can pray for you and this and that. But was it somebody you really love and you have
Yes.
affection for? Is so much more hard. That's when you
Yes.
really gotta dig your heels in, get on your knees, pray, trust God in that situation. Because I'm alive today as because of the prayers from my family. Honestly, like God just moved me out of the way of so much bullets. My goodness, you know,
Yes.
and that's why, like you, I have a purpose today. I'm grateful for drugs and alcohol because honestly, without it, I would not be living a life where I'm growing along spiritual lines, where I'm building my relationship with God. Because we're both Christians. That's something that we got in common. And you know, like when I first got sober, you kind of mentioned it. You made me think about it. You know, when I made mistakes, like I was famous, active in my addiction to just condemn myself, just condemnation all the time, banging my head on
Yes.
my head with a hammer, and I start feeling all these negative feelings, and you know that's what the enemy wants to keep me. He wants to keep me like that, you know.
Yes.
But I don't believe Jesus died so I can live a barely good life, or a mediocre life, or you know, like today my life is unbelievable, you know. But anyways, this is not about me. So okay, one more question. um what would you say to somebody to try and inspire hope that, you know, into them, people who are trying to get clean and sober right now? What would you tell them?
The biggest thing is forgiveness.
Ooh, yeah.
You have to forgive yourself first and foremost because you are the only person who is beating yourself up more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You think that people really don't care about you, but they really do.
Mm-hmm.
Hard love, I had to have a lot of it because when I was in my addiction, I was very hard to deal with, and a lot of people don't like that word no,
Yeah.
but I lost a lot of family members that I had to suck up, put my big girl panties on, and had to say I'm sorry to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but forgiveness is huge. And
Yes.
don't let anybody ever tell you you cannot get clean and sober.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest part of recovery is people think like you guys are so worried about what people are thinking about you and what they're going to say about you.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares what they think? Who cares what they say? They're not you. They haven't walked in your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Half the people who are on drugs, a lot of people can't even stand 1 second in our shoes. You're not alone. There's a lot of people out here who are willing to help you. Reach out to somebody. It's
Yeah.
very scary to ask for help, but we are out here. You are not alone. We are here. We've been here. I'm still reaching out. I'm honored to be a part of this broadcast because I know that I'm going to probably meet a lot of awesome people. And that's what recovery is. It's a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's we're not strangers. We're a family. This is nationwide. Like I'm from Hawaii. I was
Mm-hmm.
born and raised there too. And then I just kind of like spread out my wings and I went to the mainlands. And I don't know if I would have stayed on the islands if I would have, stayed sober, if I was, I don't know those things. You never know, you know. But all I know is it did happen. It happened to me. It's happening all over the world. You are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness is huge. Remember, you have to always forgive yourself
Yep.
first. Stop beating yourself up and know that you're worth something.
Mm-hmm.
Do not forget your worth, your value, your morals. Just because you feel like you're so low at your bottom, you're not low.
Hmm.
You are loved.
Yes.
I love you. He loves you. And then a lot of other addicts, recovering addicts, addicts who aren't recovering, we all love you.
Yeah.
That's what people really need to know. You're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. You're
Yeah.
not alone.
It feels like it, doesn't it? When
Yes, it
like
does.
when I first got sober, I was somewhat afraid to share some of the things that
Yes,
I've done because I'm like, bruh, nobody's done this before. Like in my mind was telling me that. And it was out of fear that I kind of was reluctant to share certain things. Then I started hearing people share. I was like, whoa, they did the same things as me, you know?
we are our biggest judges.
Yeah. Yeah, but
We
you
are
see,
our biggest. You will never know someone's story unless you really get to know them.
uh-huh. Yeah, but you know what? You said something that was so vital for me in my recovery was forgiveness, was forgiving myself specifically, but then learning how to forgive other people. I mean,
Yes,
copying so much resentments over the years, harboring
yes,
all these negative feelings that's just poison in my body. That's me drinking poison, expecting you to die. Kind of, it doesn't work that way, you know. And then what I see for me, there's only really, if I boil it down to one reason, there is only one reason why I can forgive other people. And it gets me emotional because it's so true. The only reason why I can forgive somebody else is because Jesus forgave me. I mean,
thank you.
I
Yes,
yeah, I mean, I've done some horrible things in my life, and I'm not
yes,
I'm not proud of it, uh, but it's just that's the only reason why when I think of like maybe somebody made me mad, or I felt disrespected, like today I can forgive like that. I can forgive
yes,
so easy because
yes.
holding on to these feelings was just tearing me up, and I was a victim, and it's everybody else's fault, and it's not my
And
fault.
prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer is very big. If you have faith and you have something to believe in, pray. Just because it doesn't happen overnight, it will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. Prayer is so big, people. If you don't have anything to believe in, you need to start believing in something
Hmm.
seriously, because you are so right. The Lord definitely, yes,
Yeah.
he is real. He is real.
Definitely. Yes, he is. I
He
mean,
is real.
we are living proof of it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Oh man, this is so much fun, man.
And
Like,
you too out there. You guys, you are too. You guys are living proof. You guys are still here for a reason.
right?
How many people you know have passed away of overdoses?
Yeah,
Don't be those people.
yeah.
Don't
You,
be
you
those
know,
people.
last year in 2019, I believe it was 780 or 760,000 people died as a direct result of addiction. I mean that. I mean that's 760,000 people that we will never see again. That were brothers, sisters, fathers, sons, daughters. And but you also mentioned purpose. Again, for me too, this addiction gave me purpose. I mean, I never thought, I'm a substance abuse counselor today. I never thought I would ever be in this field, ever. I wanted to keep doing drugs. I didn't want to stop doing them. But
Yes.
God had a plan. In Jeremiah 29:11, it says that He has a plan for me, a good plan, a plan to prosper me,
Amen.
and to give me hope in the future. And I'm literally living that today. Like so many
Yes.
promises of God has come true in my life. And it really boils down to my obedience to Him. Really, that's really what it boils down to. It's not just about not doing drugs and not drinking anymore. It's about treating people with love, kindness, respect, consideration, not thinking
Yes.
about myself all the
Understanding,
time. Yeah,
compassion. Yes.
compassion. Exactly, exactly. So, you want to say anything else before we wrap up, Leilani?
I just say good luck to all you guys out there who are really struggling. And I give you guys props out here during this COVID, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I pray, Lord Jesus, that you do heal these people's minds mentally, emotionally,
Hmm.
spiritually. Bring them to you, Lord, and let them know that you are here, that you love them, because they don't feel that they are loved. Some people can't feel you. Some people don't understand you, but that's okay. That's okay, because you're still going to love them, just like we're going to love them. Guys, don't give up. Don't give up hope. There is always a better tomorrow. And as long as you got your eyes open, you will have a chance to change. We are here. I bless you. Thank you so much again for having me a part of your broadcast.
Oh, thank you so much, Leilani. Hey, we definitely got to do this again. But I'll keep in touch
Yes.
with you, okay?
Yes. Mahalo.
Okay, mahalo. Thank you. Okay, guys. Again, if you have a story to tell of how you recovered from drugs and alcohol, I don't care how you did it. It'll always inspire hope into somebody else who's struggling, whether it was through church, a 12-step program, detox, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you have a story to tell, I would love to hear it. Please, you can DM me here, or you can DM me on my other Instagram. It's pro_recovery_power. Because if nobody has ever told you this, I will tell you. Your life matters.